She sounds very obnoxious from what I heard of her voice.
That's a terrible way to talk about Lav.
Now recording.
Here's the deal. I can't get in touch with any of my co-hosts at the moment. I don't think they're around, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think any of them really know much about this story when it comes to tomfoolery and the Twitch poll spectrum. So I decided I'd bring in, again, a good ally to the Now Recording podcast, Mr. Beckett-of-Crabs. I got your name right this time.
Yeah, no, we're getting there.
We're getting close, man. Oh, we're getting close.
We're close enough.
Yeah, so Beckett, you've been in the middle of this tomfoolery drama. I would like for you to start from the beginning. Who the fuck is tomfoolery?
Fuck me. Well, foreshadowing, but with how much she lies, that's a good question. Tomfoolery is a Twitch poll creator. He largely is known for sort of panels and debates. He's probably been around the space for about 5 years. Though again, there's a bit of debate about that. He seems to have started on Facebook Live, or like streaming on Facebook. I haven't confirmed this myself, but at this point, there's so many people pulling sources that appears to be where it is. He streams on YouTube at the moment, and used to stream on Twitch before being banned. I believe because it's just, again, grapevine, for conversations about lolly or philia, some sort of debate panel, and Twitch can be quite hot on that. Same sort of thing that hit Mr. Girl. So that was a few years ago. Since then, he's sort of built his channel up as Twitch poll has declined over time. And he was pulling 180-ish views as essentially a news and drama nexus point channle. So a lot of people, but at the end of the day, when everything's kind of happened, would end up on his show to discuss or like debate out or mediate out their issues.
It's like the Destiny post show, basically.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah. So would you say he had a very prolific career? Or was he just kind of like middle, like kind of average, or was he gaining ground? Or
he was gaining a bit of ground, but it's very difficult when a creator moves over to YouTube, especially within the Twitch poll space, because kind of the audience was over on Twitch, which is one of the reasons there's been a stagnation decline in that community, because Destiny's now not on Twitch and also on Kick on YouTube. So he seemed to be gaining some ground, but it was stable. It was stable. Like for Twitch poll, I think 180 is respectable-ish numbers for sort of political stuff and drama.
Yeah. Okay. So he's a pretty decent YouTuber. A Destiny, or would you consider him a Destiny orbiter?
I don't know if I actually would, to be honest. Well, he is the after show. His interactions were interesting. We'll come to that. But essentially, like, the Destiny girls and orbiters would end up there to have conversations. So Lav was on, Grace was on, a couple of others. I think people like Cherry and everything else have been on from time to time. But Tom also...
the way I kind of see it is like Destiny's the shark, right? And he's in the ocean, and he sees his prey. He attacks this whale or a dolphin, and then as the shark bites onto the whale, there's little particles of food that drop down onto the ocean floor, and tomfoolery is like that little tiny fish that's feeding on the particles of the whale or the dolphin. Would you agree with that metaphor?
I'd say he is kind of the thing sucking on the fish, feeding on the whale and the dolphin. Like, it might be another step down, if I'm honest. I mean, Grace Thorpe's a great example of someone he knew first, apparently, and then as she was pulled into the space, that's almost like one of the first conversations she had. But yeah, essentially, his channel is a nexus point, which I think is if he's having the issues he is now, maybe one of the major issues for any kind of recovery.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, so I want to make sure we get every context of tomfoolery. I was watching a tomfoolery stream. I think it was with Lav or someone, and he said he played football in high school, but he quit high school to go play college football, and not football as in soccer, your football, my football, Ready Set Hut football. And I remember thinking, like, that was the weirdest thing I've ever heard, because no one quits high school to go play college football. You usually you got to play 4 years. I was a I was a letterman in football. I was all area. You got to play all 4 years, because it's not a sport you can transition like that, no matter how talented you are. It's not like basketball. And I just thought that was really weird. But I guess he never got to go to college. I think was there a heroin addiction in there somewhere or something?
Yeah, so I believe he was addicted to heroin for about 15 years. That's what he says.
Yeah.
But the problem with this is the more people have dug into it, the online world is weird, right? Like, I'll tell you bits about my life, but I'm pretty vague, because the closer I get to sort of something definitive, the easier it is to dox me. So we all sort of have to take each other at our words to a certain extent. If I say I've got these qualifications or I do this kind of work, you would sort of have to believe each other. The things that TomFoolery says, the more people have dug into them, the more fucking absurd they sound. I mean, this football thing's a pretty good example of this. Another one is his work history. He describes himself as a rhetoric coach and like expert linguist. And while he claims that he didn't have any qualifications in these, the stuff he says about it just doesn't make any sense. He actually wrote a gender paper, which is one of the fucking worst things I've ever read, if I'm completely honest with you. It's terrible. It's got like Mike from Monsters Inc. in there for some reason as a picture. It's got like, MS Paint shit. It's got a load of sources. We actually did track this down. The reference list at the bottom is actually taken from another YouTube video. So even the reference list itself seems to be something he just found and then banged in as a reference list to make it seem more legitimate.
Yeah. All right. So rhetoric coach, what is that like? This is like for like how to talk to, like, explain what a rhetoric coach is for me real quick.
So as far as I can tell, because, it's a bit of a made up thing in some respects, it's somebody who's teaching you how to use the correct language to reach a particular audience, seem convincing and charismatic. The irony of that is that TomFoolery, when in any trouble, doesn't seem to know how to talk to human beings, so I don't know how that can be fucking true. But yeah, that was the claim. So when he was having debates and conversations involving linguistics, and he'd really pick into kind of like what things mean and how things mean, often by bringing up Google and Googling the word for the definition. He'd say, I know about these things. I'm qualified in these things. And this goes back to another thing within Twitch poll. And it's something that Erudite herself has caught flack for, of people leaning on their qualifications and going, well, I've got this degree. I'm the expert in the room. You need to listen to me. And that's also something I've always really hated. I think especially if you're qualified, you should actually be able to make arguments that stand on their own. The qualification should have given you that ability. You shouldn't need a piece of paper to kind of reinforce your argument. It's the other way around.
Right. All right. So, and you said he worked at like Domino's or something?
So his work history, as stated by him in a conversation. So basically, he ended up in a debate, just for a preamble, where the people in that debate said that he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. He said he'd written papers that were read in universities to me afterwards. And then there was a series of conversations involving me, President Sunday, and Sick. The last one with Sick, he describes his work history as he basically was trained at a law firm to sell what were essentially some kind of adjustable mortgages. This was like 2013.
Yeah.
He then left there because he got fired from there, is what he said, and it was full of crack, like coke heads, which, take for what you will. It's like, hey, this guy's a heroin junkie. He'll fit right in.
Yeah.
He then went to run a car wash, became a delivery driver at Pizza Hut. The manager then quit, so they asked him to be manager. He then went up to area rhetoric manager, so he was managing managers. And then he was like writing all these things of how to like sell better. The example he gives of this, by the way, which is fucking hilarious, is during COVID, he said that, there were issues with people ordering delivery and we didn't have enough delivery drivers, so we were losing a ton of money. So we told staff to tell people when they phoned in for delivery that they were going to change the price and give them a cheaper price if they came and got carry out. but they weren't actually changing the price. They were just dropping the delivery price. You're not allowed to do that, by the way. That's not. That's actually like a consumer rights violation. You need a financial kind of salesperson. But yeah, so his example as why he's qualified is him him undertaking some kind of fraud, which is fucking wild. And he said he did that for a few years and then went on to Domino's and did the same thing. He also apparently went to prison. That is actually now more debated. He's got a lot of weird prison stories about shit that happened to him. Yeah.
I would love to ask him questions about his heroin addiction because I had an Oxycontin addiction. I wonder if I could like compare and contrast and see if he's lying about. Do you think he's lying about all this stuff?
I think he is a pathological liar, partly because he said he was a pathological liar.
He actually said that.
Yeah, he was having a conversation with Not So Erudite, and he was saying, well, I got in trouble with my boss one day because I just lied about something. I was like, why did I do that? And he was like, well, I just love the game. I just love the game of lying. Pathological lying. I'm just like, what the fuck? And I'd never seen this before all this happened. But it's let's say compounding evidence. This guy is just like full of shit, basically.
Yeah. So, guy completely full of shit. Joins the Debate Bro Twitch poll community. Starts interviewing people post Destiny streams, talking about drama that's revolved around the Twitch poll community. Kind of a bottom feeder, I guess. That's how is his reputation in the community?
I mean, he came up through the panel scene, which was really big when Destiny was around. Like you had things like Hippy Dippy, which was massive, Prime Kai's, and this is the format Wick now uses.
This is all kind of dead now, right?
Yeah, panels are completely fucked. Because there's no real audience for them, if I'm honest. And the audience that does exist for them is over on Kick with Destiny, because Destiny's a big draw. And B, because most the pool is actually smaller of people. A lot of people, when COVID happened, were sort of locked inside, so they wanted to listen to people. But you can actually see the drop off in statistics as the lockdowns ended.
Yeah.
And people like Dylan Burns, who were really big, have moved on to real world stuff. Right. But yeah, he came in doing that, and then he started doing kind of this Nexus Point thing, kind of post that, and that's been much. But yeah, that's probably the last year and a half.
Yeah.
His reputation in the community is interesting. It's improved, or it had improved. At one point, because of getting banned from Twitch and sort of like losing access, because when you're banned from Twitch, you can't be shown on Twitch.
Yeah.
So like this is the big thing with Destiny. Destiny gets banned. No one can have him on Twitch without catching a suspension of some kind or some trouble for showing his face on screen. But TomFoolery himself seems to have got he's built connections and relationships over time. His reputation was just okay. It was, some people hated him, some people liked him. Pretty standard.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, so was there any other notable dramas he was involved in before this situation?
Not really this notable, if I'm completely honest with you. There's little people who hated him, but other than some questioning, not really. Yeah, he's too on the fringes in some respect.
Was there any interaction? Did he ever go on like a panel with Destiny or anything like that?
Yeah, he's interacted with Destiny and things. I think there was actually, I'm it's so long ago in some respects, but I think during the Mr. Girl stuff, Lav's been on. Actually, I mean, one thing that was kind of controversial is when Lav got sort of burned from the community, Tom was still talking to her and would still have her on.
Fucking base. Fucking base, bro.
But yeah, a lot of people weren't happy with that. So yeah, it caused tension.
Gotcha. Okay, so now we've gotten through. Am I missing anything context-wise when it comes to TomFoolery before we get into like the real nitty-gritty?
I don't believe so. I think that's pretty much the setup you need for where we are, if that makes sense.
Okay. So this is what I understand. So Kelly Jean is like, is she a porn star?
She's an Instagram model, but actually, That's not really where this begins.
Okay, well, let's bring it back.
Yeah.
You started then.
So, a few months ago, at the end of one of Destiny's streams, Justic or JSTKL or whatever the fuck he wants to be called,
Yeah.
goes on Destiny's at the very end and calls Tom a sex pest. It is like a couple of seconds in Destiny End stream. And Tom gets messaged this and by somebody who says, "Oh, you have to deal with this." So he brings him on to kind of make these accusations of Tom being a sex pest. And the accusations are basically, anytime Destiny has a girl on, Tom's there in the DMs. Do you want to talk? And kind of just being a bit creepy and sex pesty. These were like kind of pretty bad accusations, at least Tom thinks so, because they are reputationally pretty bad for him. Now, he brings on Justic, and Justic does not do well in this conversation. Every single point he brings up, whether it's Grace, or like, what about Grace Thought? Well, I actually knew her first. Destiny found her through me. What about with Lav? Like, what about this person? And the conversation doesn't go in his favor. And Tom's gets the win. I think most of us kind of felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then Justic begins to get bigger. And he's continued to get bigger over the last few months. So Justic picked a time spot where he is directly competing with Tom. And while Tom isn't really a DGG orbiter, Justic is.
Right.
So all of the Destiny girls and everything else, the natural after show point was actually Justic's, not Tom's.
Okay.
And because Tom could no longer get these bookings as easily, it really started to hit his numbers. So when he had this conversation with Justic, he was kind of at his high point, and now he begins sort of like actually really feeling pressure from this guy who's constantly now to a bigger audience. Calling him a sex pest, and Justic's numbers shot up.
I'm gonna say who I think Justic is, and you can correct me. He was like he was a DGGer, and who was like in the DGG chat, and then like one day he just made a channel and started making content. Is there anything like else you can provide?
Not massively with him. He's a bit of a blind spot for me because I'm not as knowledgeable about the DGG group, but as far as I'm aware, it's pretty accurate. One thing that's probably worth noting, God, is he's friends with Queeman. And Queeman doesn't like TomFoolery.
Gotcha.
He thinks he's very cringe.
Really? You think? Yeah.
I know. This information is going to shock you.
I'm shocked.
But one thing, so Queeman's quite supportive of Justic getting bigger, and as Queeman has grown over the last couple of months, Justic has had a bit of support there as well, of getting his name out and potentially getting the odd raid in as well, and that's further increased pressure.
Okay, gotcha. Because it's all kind of based on like the Destiny raid, right? That's how you kind of really grow.
Yeah, but it's also word of mouth and everything else, and Justic's community is not just DGG. It will also have people because Justic's like interacted with other parts of kind of the Twitch poll space outside of DGG for a bit. It's nowhere near like the main focus in some respects, as far as I can see. But yeah, no, it's been good. He's got a lot of stuff from multiple angles in some respects. But he's now in Tom's position, and a better position than Tom, because he'll go on Destiny and be part of the drama.
Yeah. So Justic had kind of a hate boner for TomFoolery. He was saying he was a sex pest. Didn't have the clout capital to really go at him, and kind of lost in the interaction. But then started to gain ground and start to gain clout capital, to which he finally had like clout to make that maneuver against TomFoolery. Correct?
Oh yeah, and it was quite it's been quite a maneuver. He's really laid the groundwork.
So all right, Kelly is. So are we? Anything else before we get to Kelly Jean?
No, I think that's pretty much where we're at.
All right. So Kelly Jean is an Instagram model, British, Destiny orbiter. I don't really know much about her, but from what I understand, she was on a live stream with TomFoolery, to which TomFoolery brought up her Instagram. Now, I wanted to bring up something really interesting here. There was I saw a random clip of TomFoolery talking to a catnip, I think her name was. Does that name sound familiar?
It doesn't, but also it does sound like the name of somebody Tom would be talking to.
Yeah, this is during like the Destiny drama. Catnip said she was a sex worker, to which TomFoolery went, "Nice."
Yeah.
And, so
Yeah, sounds like Tom comment.
Look. Honestly, that's definitely a now recording comment as well. See, the thing with the TomFoolery stuff is we were watching this. Like some of my co-hosts were getting a little nervous because like we make jokes like this all the time. So we were kind of wondering like why this is such a big deal. So explain to me. All right, Kelly Jean's on the panel. He brings up the Instagram. Why is that a big deal?
So when you guys make a joke like that, it's a joke, right?
Right.
The problem is that when Tom brought up that Instagram, he was like going at the man. He was like, "Oh, who's Kelly Jean?" kind of thing. I'll go to her Instagram, and rather than just scrolling through and being like, I've opened people's like, well, not Instagrams. I fucking hate Instagram, but their Twitter and stuff, and I'm like, "Who is this?" Cool, that's their thing. That's their pinned comment. Whatever. Tom sort of scrolls through and just lingers. He just lingers on the images.
Yeah.
It's like very, very humorous. Now, the problem is that when Kelly found this out, it was live, and she was like, "Wow, that's really creepy. Why is he looking at me?" And rather than just laughing off and being like, "Oh, I was just looking at your pictures, like whatever," Tom goes into like this weird fucking mode where he ends up posting in Justic's chat about how she's an ethot, so it's it's normal to objectify her. They're arguing over between the chat and the stream. He's like, "Oh, she's begging for my dick," and there's a big difference between making a joke like nice and saying like, "Oh, she's begging for my dick." Now we'll get for his justifications in a bit. But I think I've used the example before. If you make racist jokes a lot, and people are like, that's just him making a racist joke. He's not actually racist. He's just edgy. But then you're found out to be doing something really fucking racist. All those previous jokes are recontextualized.
Okay.
So when he is saying, "Oh, that's nice," you might be like, "Well, we make that kind of joke, and we might read it that way as a joke." But if one of you was found doing something incredibly humorous all the fucking time, and that had been constant, it recontextualized that joke into something a bit more fucked up. Does that make sense?
I think Beavers is in trouble.
I will die for him.
I think he might be in trouble here. See, our goal, we don't want to infiltrate this Twitch poll thing. Like, someone sent me another clip of Justic and those guys like kind of talking about me for a second because someone donated to Lab Pitt or whatever, and they were like, "Who's Matt Pitt?" That made me a little nervous because I don't want these fucking people really talking about me. I just want to interact. I just want to react to them. So yeah, that Beavers is in trouble. I'll say. Yeah, and I might be too from now, like with the arc that I've been on. But no. In all seriousness, though, yeah, I guess like if someone says if they're making jokes and then you find out that they are actually kind of serious about what they're saying, yeah, it can definitely recontextualize a joke and make you think twice. My thing was like, I didn't think the Instagram thing was really that big of a deal. And I remember just still saying he was a sex pest for that. And at that point, I didn't really see that. I was just because you got to understand, I don't have all of this context.
Oh yeah,
right?
well, neither did the rest of us because he hit back in such a way. And also, I'm gonna be candid. Like someone said, "Well, this guy's your friend, Beckett." We were friendly. There's a big difference there. We've never sat in a private call together just chilling out. We've never, we don't DM regularly like with stories of our lives. Like with a lot of creators, people have like sort of these friendly relationships where you're making content together and I'd go on things, but that's sort of just how the network works.
Yeah.
So a lot of people hadn't really looked into all the pieces of his past trying to put things together because a lot of people just thought it was fucking boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I was gonna say you also didn't have tits, so TomFoolery probably wasn't interacting with you that much because of that. Right? So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, the weird thing about what's happened recently as well is this is sort of like the end result of Justic's stuff. So his reputation was good because he wasn't really seen as partisan. He wasn't seen as like flipping out for those who were interacting with him regularly. But since the Justic stuff started happening, he had a big thing with Keffels. He had a big debate about rape, which was just fucking weird. They're probably worth mentioning in some regard because it's kind of tied into this period. But Keffels was calling him a rapist, and I think at one point she called him a pedophile. And he did this thing where he was watching a Keffels stream of Keffels watching him, of him watching her, and it was just like this weird fucking inception point. It was bizarre. I mean, it was just fucking bizarre. And then after all that happened, he had the rape debate, and he was like, well, you know, they really stuck on this thing of like, is it consent if it's not enthusiastic? Because it was in reference to Keffels' own like a sexual abuse story. It was just fucking bizarre. And lots of us were like, you need to stop this, man. You need to chill the fuck out because this is getting like, you're looking unhinged. So now we've ended up here. And the other important thing to note as well on this panel was Mantis. She is going to become quite relevant quite quickly.
Right. Gotcha. All right, yeah, let's all right, so Mantis was a big defender of tomfoolery, correct?
Oh yeah. She was in the trenches. She was very close to the front lines for some reason. Can't imagine what that would be.
Now, who is Mantis?
Oh fuck, that's an enigma in itself. Mantis is a Twitch poll community member who has bounced between multiple communities. Chuds is kind of the first time I think I saw her. But yeah, she kind of jumps on. She doesn't stream or anything. She's actually almost a bit of a ghost outside of Discord and random chats. As far as I can tell. But she's had her own controversies, I think, and this is unsubstantiated, but I'm just going to say what the accusation was she had a boyfriend who I believe is Mudcrab, and apparently he was 17 at the time they started flirting. I don't know what the validity of that is. It's just what I've heard. So a lot of people chat shit towards her. She is very edgy, which, you know, she'll make a lot of racist and transphobic jokes. Which, you know, rubs a lot of people the wrong way, especially in a community that's probably a bit more tighter and more politically correct, especially, you know, with TOS and everything. And she seemed to get away with a lot. But she was there saying, well, Tom's not a sex pest, Tom's not a creep, he needs to fight Justic, it's really important, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, was Tom's greatest defender during all of this.
Yeah, and there's a reason why she was Tom's greatest defender. Am I right?
Oh, there was a reason. Yes, yeah. I mean, it's come out in the weirdest way possible, but her and Tom weren't just friends. They were having what Tom describes in DMs as a romantic relationship.
Yeah. A virtual rendezvous, you know, like like they were in an relationship, right?
They were. I don't know what the fuck to call it. I'm going to be honest with you. It sounds like they were just sexting. Okay. Like that's what it sounds like.
So what I wish I had with Lav.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was living the dream.
Yeah, living the dream. I don't know. She sounds very obnoxious from what I heard of her voice. So
that's a terrible way to talk about Lav. I thought.
No, I wasn't talking about. I was talking about Mantis. What are you doing? No, I was talking about Mantis. No, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about Mantis, the Kiwi girl. I don't know. Lav has got a wonderful voice. So they were dating, and that would come out later. She was defending tomfoolery on Justic stream and on Wick's panel, or whatever you want to call it. Funny thing about the Wick thing, right, is Wick got baited by a fake tomfoolery account and actually saying that tomfoolery was going to come on, and so Wick was like waiting.
The Addy account, yeah. Apparently, I mean, Addy is a bit of a sideline, but possibly one of the funniest parts of this in some respects.
Yeah.
So we need to go back because there's one thing we missed. But like, what Addy was doing was he created a fake tomfoolery account with a PFP of Tom's face. That was it. Yeah. That's not tomfoolery's picture. And people who've interacted with Tom randomly thought it was Tom, even though, you know, it's not even a good it's not even a good replication. I mean, how irrelevant do you have to be that people who work with you regularly get confused by this? It's fucking crazy. Like...
So Lick's just sitting there like, are you coming or what? And then they got in touch with Tom, and Tom actually ended up coming on, but it was all because of this alt account, or not even an alt account, this fake account that got him on, and then another debate ensued. Now, Tom had gone on Justic's stream and got very angry, kind of raised his voice, yelled a bit.
And he'd done an entire cope stream previous to this as well. So he did there was the stream where the Justic thing happened. Then there was this cope stream where Reservoir, Zonia, and Stardust were talking with him. I think other people jumped in and out.
Yeah, that's the one where your girlfriend was like, "He's Kuman," or something like that, and then Zonia was like, please be quiet. Please stop. Like, what are you doing?"
I love Star, but listen, I will say the best thing about that panel is my girlfriend as a banana the entire fucking time. I just think that's objectively very funny. But he like had flipped the fuck out. He was like, "You're not listening to me." He told Zonia to shut up. He was full on cope mode. His arguments were that he was playing 4D chess with them. He wanted this to happen. He wanted Justic to come on so he could like get the debate. Like, it's kind of like the pathological liar thing. He's like, "I love the game. I want to debate these people, and now I've got the debate." And Zonia's just like, "You're fucking retarded. Like, this is going so badly for you. What are you doing?"
Yeah, they got into a screaming match, right?
Oh god, Zonia was near tears. You know, she was really upset.
Apparently, like, so Zonia and Tom were actually pretty close, right?
Yeah, Zonia is probably one of his earliest friends.
Yeah.
And there are actually streams when he first moves over to YouTube where it is just Zonia and his producer Saz. They're the only ones in the chat.
Right.
So yeah, Zonia's got a friendship going back with Tom a really long way. And was very, very worried about him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, how far do they go back?
Oh, it's difficult to say, but probably 3 or 4 years.
Really? Zonia and Tom?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, because a lot of these Twitch poll things is kind of similar to commentary. It's like you guys talk once on a stream, next thing you know, you're best friends for like a week, and then like it gets kind of weird. You know what I mean? So that's interesting that they were good friends for 4 years. I didn't know that Zonia went that far back when it came to.
Well, Zonia's been around for ages. She's originally from DGG. She was, I believe, a DGG admin before becoming a streamer herself. So yeah, Zonia's been around a decent amount of time.
That's insane that this whole ecosystem revolves around like, Destiny, and that there's people that were like old school Destiny fans and were admins in his website and mods in his chat, and they're now like their own personalities. That's really cool.
It's an interesting progress. You know, you click into a Destiny stream one day, and a couple of years later, you're having your life destroyed on the internet. It's a great fucking pipeline.
Yeah, or you know, you join the Destiny community, and next thing you know, you're accusing Destiny of rape or something like, you know, like, "Oh, I just wanted to come and chill out, and now, you know, Destiny raped me. So, well, here we are. He's a dark triad, and you know."
Oh, fuck me.
Is TomFoolery a dark triad? Do you think?
Do you know what? I'm gonna cop to this. I've never really understood all the fucking psychobabble. I don't really know what a dark triad is.
I thought it was like in like a Chinese mafia, like the dark triad. You got to be careful. The dark triads are on their way, and you're gonna be.
I fucking hate all this shit. You're really narcissistic, and I think that you applied to this little fucking theorem, and this is really typical of Twitch, bro. People like get little bits of fucking knowledge, and it's just fucking infuriating, frankly. This is actually the reason I stopped doing panels. I kept hearing people say things that were just
okay.
Yeah.
So to get back on, all right. So the Zonia thing didn't go so well for Tom. How do you? What in your opinion? How did the Justic and Tom thing go? Because at that point, when I didn't watch it all, I kind of like were popping in and out. I wasn't say I was pro Tom, but I would say like I was like I think this is going a little too far, right? Is my opinion. What was your take on all this at that point?
My take's really simple. I don't think that there is a position Tom could have taken in that debate that would have gone well for him, regardless of audience reaction. Because Tom at the beginning was saying, well, I apologize for how you feel, which is, as we all know, the worst thing you can say to a woman. It is, oh, I'm sorry you're too immature to understand what's happening around you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there's this real focus on the Instagram stuff, which, let's be honest, is really minor. He could have just laughed it off. Or he could have just been like, you're being fucking stupid, I don't care.
Yeah, I think he came in a little too hot, right? I think the problem about Twitch poll is you guys take yourselves a little too seriously. And so when you have some situation where you pull up a girl's Instagram, I think the best route would be to be like, look, guys, you want to call me a sex pest, whatever. I'm just making content here. I showed her Instagram just for context of the situation. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a perv, but I'm not dangerous or anything, like, or just, made some jokes about yourself. Probably not go on debate panels debating about.
Well, he was literally he was debating like whether it was okay to objectify people. It's fucking wild. It's literally the point where, in the previous conversation with Zonia, Resi, and Stardust, he's talking to Resi, and Resi's like, if a woman called you creepy in a bar, would you debate her? And he's like, no, of course not. And everyone's like, okay, cool. And he's like, except. It's like, dude, stop fucking talking. What the fuck are you doing?
You see, because in commentary, the bar is really low, right? Because of all the crazy shit that happens in our community. So when I see TomFoolery put a girl's Instagram on and everybody's calling him a sex pest, like, I don't think I'd say that just because how low our bar is. But the reason why I kind of dislike Tom is because he was trying to infiltrate my community, not the commentary community, the now recording community. He was trying to take my girls away from me, my spurgs, bro. He was trying to take Leia and Jessica Pizzle and Ginger Raymoth and all these girls that were fighting with each other, and he tried to fucking take it on his stream. Now, I prefer, if I wasn't gonna do it, you do it. Or even Stardust at that point. But not fucking TomFoolery, some fucking douchebag, heroin addict, fucking pizza driver who I have no idea who he is, taking my spurgs. It's not gonna happen.
No, you gotta protect your spurgs.
I gotta protect my spurgs at all costs. At all costs. Like, we will go to war for our spurgs. We care. See, that's the thing. You got Cumin and TomFoolery and these people. They don't care about the spurgs. All right. I am the Moses. I part the Spurg Sea. Okay. When I put my fucking pole up, the sea parts. All right. I lead the way. I'm the wrangler. I'm the translator. I'm the one when someone's spurging, I come on to explain what they're trying to say. All right, so I don't need some TomFoolery ass motherfucker to come in, take my spurgs away from me, and then they're in this dangerous part of the Twitch poll area where you got these fucking intellectually psychotics who are just fucking taking shots, just like sniping them all out. Like, I can't watch my spurgs turn into that. That's my content, right?
Yeah, you gotta protect it. It's almost like somebody's come onto your ranch and is stealing them. It's fucked up. And in Tom's case, if he tries to have sex with them, he used to send people to Wales for that. They're
trying to fuck my horses, Beckett. I don't like this. They're trying to fuck my horses, and I'm not a fan of this.
Fuck.
Okay, so where were we? All right, Justic, bad debate. All right. So at that point, do you think TomFoolery would have been okay?
I think it was salvageable.
Salvageable, yeah.
It was bad. It was really bad. But it was, like with most dramas, things can blow over. The other thing with that weird debate was, again, Mantis was on. I actually made it because I popped onto that debate really early, and I said to Tom, you shouldn't be apologizing at all. Because you clearly don't feel like you've done anything wrong, A, and B, because these people fucking hate you, Tom. Justic wants to take you down. Kelly is a troll. She is just happy to see chaos unfold. Right. Kelly gets described as really annoying, and she is, but also she's occasionally fucking hilarious.
She seems like a bitch. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but she's so good at poking people, and in this really dry British way that I've actually kind of come to respect. I'm going to be honest. Yeah. There's something endearing about it. But Mantis came on, and I made a joke that, because Wick and I at the time are going through this whole thing to do with the disclosure stuff, And I was like, okay, well, I've seen some of this Justic stuff, and my previous statements on Justic are he's a fucking retard. And I was like, I watched some of his content. I was like, nah, it's not that bad. So I was like, oh, I thought it'd be funny to make a little joke here. And I was like, oh, Justic, I've just been watching your stuff recently, and I want to say that I withdraw my previous statement. You're retarded. And Mantis, it pipes, oh, you're glazing him like instantly, because she's just like calling people soy all the time. She's, very loud, very obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm just trying to make a fucking disclosure joke here, because that was the end of the joke. Like, oh, Wick, I'm just disclosing things. But yeah, Mantis needs to insert herself.
Right. Speaking of Mantis, all right. So when the tides really started to turn with Tom, is he's on a stream.
This is right after that panel, I believe.
Yeah. Was it after? It's the same day as the Vosh thing, right?
No, it's the day before the Vosh thing.
Okay.
Maybe. So actually, maybe it. No. I think it's the day before.
All right. Go ahead. Go ahead and explain what he does.
So basically, he's continuing to stream. Fuck, this last period is messing with my timeline. He's continuing to stream, and he pulls up a folder of some kind, and on that folder, it's a media player. Sorry, and there's a nude. Right. There's a nude.
There's titties.
Picture. There's titties.
Yeah.
There's titties, man.
Yeah.
And Tom closes it. He ends stream. He deletes the VOD.
Right. Was there a reaction when he did it, or did he just silently just end the VOD?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't seen the VOD.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask, did he have his Bosch moment where he's like, ah? And
yeah, I think that's pretty close to it. But I missed all this happening. I heard about it the day after, and obviously already circulating was a screenshot of this moment.
Yeah.
With what has been described as fairly manly boobs.
Yeah. He was basically like, "Yo, no, that was a dude with tits."
Yeah. Which well, let's spoil it. They're Mantis's tits. Okay. So
confirmed, 100%.
Yeah, 100% from two things. First thing, Mantis has a sleeve and upper arm tattoo, and she also has a mole on her stomach. Now, the reason people know this is because, again, this is rumored, Mantis has not been shy about sharing these out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether they were as revealing as the ones sent to Tom, but people have seen her, essentially in a bra and pants before.
Yeah.
Tom outright denied this. He was like, it's not Mantis, it is a trans woman making a stupid face and jacking off. That's what the video is. He said he downloaded it from a libertarian Facebook group and it was designed as a troll. I have no fucking idea.
Why did he download it then?
I've got no idea why you'd make a lie like this. It sounds like, if you're meant to be a pathological liar, you think you'd lie better, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is just fucking stupid.
No, it's like, I didn't do blackface. I just went into the African villages and stuck my face in the mud. Yeah. And then I came back and I flew all the way home. Yeah. That's what happened. Like,
yeah, it totally makes.
Yeah.
No. Makes fucking sense.
Yeah.
So once this has happened, now a couple of things unfold pretty fucking quickly. Firstly, most people identify it as Mantis, and there had been rumors circulating that Mantis, the reason she was treated differently in the community, most people would have been banned, that they'd had some special relationship going on. Once that nude leaked, the dominoes just began to fall. His producer, Sass, who's been with him for 2 years, does a lot of the things like timestamping his videos. She's a bit of an archival source. I think she does some a little bit of contacting people, and shit like that, and editing small bits when needed. He was also doing a documentary on Destiny, and that was started years ago, and she was working on that before Tom stopped working on that sort of thing. She quit. She's just like, I'm fucking done. So she quits. Most of his mod team quits. Zonya leaves the community. Multiple other people just immediately jump fucking ship. And this is like the worst.
Because of the lie or because of the nude?
Because of the lie.
Because of the lie, okay.
Because this is like the worst thing that can happen during this. Tom's staunchest defender is a girl he's e-fucking. Like, that's not... one of the things with Twitch poll is you sort of have to be pretty open with your disclosure of who people are. So part of the reason that Star and I ended up public is because somebody was going to leak our relationship because they were like, well, you're on stream, she's on stream. What if people knew? And we were like, well, it shouldn't be a big deal because prior to that, I'd never really defended her publicly. I'd always taken the stance of Stardust is my friend. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so the fact that Mantis
also, you've been pretty good not jumping in on stuff when Stardust is in shit. Right.
Yeah,
so,
I interestingly, I catch a lot of flack for it, even not doing it. They're like,
yeah,
well,
even in like some of our comments, they pointed out about it, but I'm like, there's a lot of situations where Stardust is in some shit, and you could defend her just for the sake of defending her because she's your girlfriend, but at the same time, you kind of let her do her thing, right?
Well, the reason we work like this, because again, people are like, well, why can't you have a spine? Why can't you defend it? Because there's no point. Is the actual truth. If I come in and defend Stardust, and this has happened maybe once or twice, it doesn't matter. Like, oh, you need your boyfriend to fight your battles for you. Beckett's just biased. He's dating you. You can't trust him because anything he says about you, positive or negative, is influenced by the fact you're fucking him.
Yeah.
So the easiest thing to do, frankly, is not defend her. It just makes her look weak, and it makes me look cucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a waste. So people might not get it. Before we actually come out publicly, Stardust had this big thing with Mr. Girl, and actually that was a question we asked ourselves: Do I defend her? And everyone around us was like, absolutely fucking not.
Yeah,
just don't do it, and don't come out and say you're dating her and defend her. Like, just shut the fuck up, Beckett. And that was that was good advice, frankly.
Yeah, smart.
And we've sort of stuck by it.
Yeah.
But
Mantis on the other hand was defending Tom thick and thin with got a dagger in her mouth, fucking clawing at people, like in defense of Tom. And
it's the living vindication of the reason Star and I work the way we do, because now all of that defense for Tom is gone, and it's just done. Because Mantis is not unbiased.
Yeah.
So that comes out, everyone quits, and Tom begins scrambling. Now he lies about what the video is.
Yeah.
Basically goes on to full-on shutdown mode. And now Sass is quite liked in the community. And because of how this is all played out, a lot of people start theory crafting. The statements made by Tom about it not being her, I mean, it just, again, like, why lie? Everyone knows what the sleeve tattoo looks like, and most people have a bad impression of Mantis anyway. So then we hit the Tom defense arc. I think that's covered everything. And now we hit the Tom defense arc. The Tom defense arc is the Zonya stream. Zonya
got a lot of shit for this stream, right?
Yeah, she did. I did try. I mean, again, I tried to defend her a little bit because, well, we get into it. Zonya began talking to Sass and Tom behind the scenes to work out what the fuck was going on.
Okay, and Sass, let's give some context with Sass. Sass is the mod, news team member, I guess. Producer,
producer, everything. She is the backbone and spine of the channel.
She is the TomFoolery channel.
Yeah, and we'll get to some of that stuff later because there was an accusation that they were dating. Now, I have heard in the course of the last few days, I've heard they were dating, they weren't dating, he had feelings, she had feelings, he was leading her on, she didn't want more. I have heard every particular way this fucking relationship could have worked. Yeah. And the truth is, I have no fucking idea anymore. But what I can tell you is they were very close.
Yeah, and she was not a fan of Mantis.
Oh, she fucking hated Mantis. Yeah. From the DMs, it sounds like Tom was getting more distant. And it sounds a bit like he was leading her on in the DMs. That's how it reads to me personally. They would hang out after shows and things. And one of the things that Tom goes on to say is like, as I became a full-time streamer, my schedule changed and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, you became like a full-time streamer. This was like your main income and everything else. How did you have less time for your producer?
Yeah.
What the fuck would you mean, motherfucker?
Right.
It's all these little things that don't make sense. But regardless, Zonya starts talking to Sass and Tom. And Tom phones her crying. This has since been leaked on a Resi
really?
stream. Yeah, Tom phones her
call?
crying. No. Just the fact
okay.
that
I was
happened.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No. God. Though I would pay money.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
gonna be honest with you. That's probably a little fucked, but yeah, I'd pay good money if anyone has that.
Yeah.
Tom phones her crying. He says, "I'm scared that I'm gonna lose Sass. I'm scared that I'm gonna lose the channel, and that I fucked everything up." Now, you asked me earlier, like, was this salvageable? The minute that nude leaked, it wasn't. He's
Right.
fucking done. All that sort of impression of him being good faith is fucked into the ground. That's he's fucked. Anyway, Zonia changes tack. Now, originally she was prepared to go all in on Tom. That's what she says. And she'd had like, I don't know, like the previous inclination, she was leaning that way from the fact that she kind of like burned the community relationship. Importantly, Zonia fucking hates Mantis. She fucking hates her. So when Tom kind of phoned her crying, Zonia was like, okay, cool. Well, it sounds like Mantis has gassed him up, that Mantis has come in and pulled the community apart, like inserted herself. So when Zonia goes and does her stream, which Chud Logic had built in as a full breakdown and explanation of everything, it is actually a Mantis takedown stream. And the accusation is that she is sweeping for Tom. Queeman goes on when she's doing call-ins to make this accusation. He has a slight technical issue, which makes him sound like his voice is breaking.
Oh, you bitch! Oh, you fucking bitch!
Now, Matt, it's a technical issue. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, fucking crazy. That's a fucking terrible
thing. That's happened to the best of us, bro.
Yeah, no. It's do you know what? I will say this. It is rare to have a moment that you're making this argument and you have that embarrassing spurgy moment, and then in the same night you take a hard win. That's pretty rare.
But just for context to our listeners, Kuman went on Zonia's stream to really like give into Zonia and was getting heated while talking to Zonia, and as he's like yelling, his voice cracked and he literally went like that, and it kind of gave Zonia the out to be like, oh no, you're just spurging, and it couldn't really catch back up, right? That kind of like threw everything off. I don't know if and then you said he got a big W after that, right?
Yeah, so what happened after that is I ended up coming on his stream, and Chud also jumped in, and I was pressed on whether Zonia was sweeping. Now, again, disclosure. I love disclosure. I'd had a conversation with Zonia the night before. I say the night before, it was about like my time, like 8 in the morning or something fucking ridiculous. Where she was telling me about this. She didn't really tell me much about the stream, but she did tell me, I believe, that she was blaming Mantis. Tom had been in tears, and but she was still pissed at Tom. Like, this was the thing. So when I watched that stream, I sort of had it in my head that Zonia was still angry at Tom. I think that colored how I viewed it. But I did, publicly take an L for that. I shouldn't have swapped.
Gotcha.
But, Zonia is my friend. I was worried about her. And I know that she was upset about, her friends, Sass and Tom, going through all this shit. So I go on Queen's stream. Chud jumps on. Aiko jumps on. And Sunday jumps on. And we sort of have this back and forth conversation. I think Aiko comes in later anyway. But after that back and forth, Sunday leaves quite quickly, and he goes and jumps on Zonia's. And he starts grilling Zonia about it. Now, Sunday is, whatever you think of him, quite good at just trying to nail things. Unfortunately, Sunday knows absolutely nothing about this topic.
Yeah.
He has basically no fucking context. So he's just like, what the fuck is going on? But he brings Tom on this call. And rather than sort of taking Zonia's sweeping and trying to go, oh yeah, no, it's fine, Zonia's like just trying to point out that Mantis is the problem, Tom, for some fucking reason, comes on and goes, well, this isn't what we agreed when we discussed this, Zonia. This stream is a little bit different from what I expect, which is possibly the worst thing he could fucking say.
Right.
He begins throwing Sass and Zonia under the bus a little bit. getting really defensive, going back on things that, as far as I'd been told the night before, he'd agreed to. Like the fact that the shit with Mantis and the picture and the conversations with Sass. And he starts getting grilled by Sunday on a point that's like really weird. It's really bizarre. Sunday's like, well, you went on Justic stream because of Mantis. And he's like, no, I didn't. I didn't know she was on. And Sunday's like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, it was only later that I found out she was on and I went on to join her. And it's like, wait, what? So you did go on because of her? He's like, no, I didn't go on because of her, but I wouldn't have gone on if she wasn't there.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's literally you going on to because of her. Like, wait, what? It may not be the direct reason, but it answers the question, if that makes sense. So, it's like he has to say no because Tom can't give even the little bit of quarter. He has to be the only one with the correct narrative, and it's like purposefully obtuse.
Right.
So this all happens. Chud then comes on and starts shouting at him a bit, and Tom runs away. Zonya looks completely fucking crushed. So yeah, that stream did not go well. For them. Horrible
failure, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking bad.
Okay.
Now, what do you think a sensible person would do after this? After just being sort of shouted at and had your greatest defender basically beaten into the ground on a live stream watched by quite a lot of people because Chud had sort of like promoted this thing.
I think it's time to take a break.
It's time to take a break. That's if only TomFoolery was as smart as you.
It's time to sit back, get into the real world, eat some fucking Cheetos, watch some football, even though I don't think you watch football. And yeah, just kind of chill out. But no, I don't think that's what he did, huh?
No. He decided to go live.
Yeah.
He decided to say that, well, this wasn't what I expected, it wasn't what I agreed. He basically goes on to accuse Sass of being clingy and unstable. Which is fucking crazy. Like you're under attack, and he's like, I don't know why. So one of the things that he said was, when Sass left the community, he said, and he put it on the Discord, Sass has decided to part with the community. She's left for work issues and scheduling issues. We're still friends. And, everything's fine. I hope she'll be back one day, but it's just not working out. So we're getting new admins, new mods in.
Yeah.
Really downplaying it. And, he kept telling these lies and again in a previous stream after she'd left.
Yeah.
Because I think there was another one in there somewhere where people were like, well, Tom, what are you talking about? You keep saying she left for like personal reasons, but it's obviously the drama. The drama's why she's fucking gone. It's like, no. It's work. The drama's, it's just, it's whatever. And he gets this and he's like, I don't know why Sass is lying or says I'm lying. I'm not. This is what we agreed on. Maybe it's because I said we were still friends. It's not. Sass left, and it's pretty explicit in the DMs because she can't deal with this drama and shit anymore. She can't deal with Mantis anymore. So Tom is just outright lying. And he's like, well, why did she leak my DMs? Motherfucker, you lied. The only way she could prove you lied was to leak your DMs. You're lying about it. Like, fucking what she meant to do. She's got no platform. So he goes on, starts coming up with a narrative. He's like, I'm going to go through everything. And basically just loses his mind on stream. It's fucking bizarre, mate. I don't really know what the fuck he was thinking. He sat in silence going through different pieces and trying to like reframe the narrative, but these aren't favorable to him. It's things that already people think are lies. He goes into the whole, I thought the video was this trans woman, and I'm like, it's irrelevant though. It's irrelevant whether you thought it was that in some respects. Like, it's a weird fucking lie to tell, and he was lying when he said it. He knew that video was Mantis. I'm convinced. I know, like, I can't prove that, but there's no fucking way you can, like, that picture, even a blurred version of it, I don't believe that you are getting sent fucking sex by this person and you don't know what their tits look like.
Yeah.
Come on. Are you fucking kidding me? Or that, yeah, it was fucking insane. And all the time, implicitly implying that Mantis looks like a trans person. It's fucking hell.
How is Mantis not pissed off at this?
Because Mantis is fucking crazy. I mean, like, we'll get to the latest stream in the Tom saga.
Before we go on, I wanted to cover something really quick, and I don't think it's something you really know much about. Do you know who Seven is?
Well, I've had interesting interactions with her recently.
So I know all I know about Seven is they were in the Mama Max community and they were pretty big on the research against Mama Max, I think. I guess Seven had some interactions with Tom because they tweeted out, also he's lying about Zonia too. I knew he would. There's no woman he wouldn't throw under the bus to justify his behavior. And then there's a screenshot of TomFoolery in Seven where TomFoolery says, hey, someone said I got something wrong. I'll fix it if I did. And Seven says, lying to Zonia that I apologized and was never upset about the pics isn't getting something wrong. It's throwing me under the bus and taking advantage of how fair I've been. I didn't say that to Zonia. Tom says, I didn't say that to Zonia. I stated on stream today what my whole story was. I swear I didn't say that. And then there's another thing with this. Then Seven tweets out, the day it happened, I told several people, including Wick, how I felt. I explained it to Tom before our talk on stream this week, and he apologized. We have never disagreed on what happened. He's taken advantage of my kindness and throwing me under the bus to excuse himself. And Seven has a screenshot with him and her and Wick saying, I'm thinking I might not be suited for streaming or even having a bigger account than I do right now, to be honest. And then says, hopefully I'll develop a thicker skin, but today made me very uncomfortable. So I think what happened was Tom showed Seven's pictures on stream, and that made Seven uncomfortable. And then basically with the whole Zonia thing, he lied about Seven, saying that he didn't apologize, I think. What's the thing? Or
yeah, something along those lines. I'm going to be honest. I've recently had this run-in, which has led to another fucking stupid drama.
You've invoked the Asian assassin.
I've invoked the Asian assassin.
I want to be psycho. Yeah, you welcome. First time.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Well, yeah.
As someone who was accused of being the leader of the cabal,
didn't we meet through that whole thing?
I think so.
Yeah, that's how you and I became friends.
Yeah, no, Aiko accused me of being the leader of the cabal because I had Edwin on the Spurg Awards. So yeah, and also called me a gay opper and just totally schizoed out on me. It was really weird. To this day, I'm very hesitant around Aiko. I don't like her. I don't really want to interact with her, and I think she kind of scares me. She genuinely scares me because I don't know what she's going to go on stream to say. And I don't think I could trust a word that comes out of her mouth. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. And I don't think anyone, including Aiko, can blame me, given what she said about me. So for this situation, I totally take your side in this because I have a major bias against Aiko.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. So there's a couple of things here. Aiko instantly leaked my DMs when I tried to.
By the way, don't do that. Yeah. Don't DM Aiko. Don't.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Anyone who's listening to this, if you're like in the Twitch poll or commentary community and you make content, do not DM Aiko, especially when she's done a stream criticizing you. She will drop the DMs and she will twist those DMs in the most malicious spotlight she can use. All right, do not DM her. But continue.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So first off, I've talked shit about Aiko publicly.
Yeah.
Every now and again. She doesn't come up much, but I think actually in a fairly recent stream, I was just like, it actually to do with Seven, I was like, I don't want to watch Aiko's coverage. I think my exact words were, when she's done, I'll download it, put it in DaVinci Resolve, put it on 2x speed, render it, re-upload it, and then watch it at 4x speed, and then maybe I can understand what the fuck's going on. Yeah. Basically, I got called into another call. Seven was there. It was a private call with some friends. I was told some news that I don't know, came out of left field. I had never interacted with Seven in a VC. The only interactions I'd had were it's like Yuki had said, hey, you should cover this Seven stuff. I was dealing with Tom's stream at the time, and I was like, I don't have time, whatever, I might get to it another stream. then Seven DMs me it, and there's more DMs. I think there's another DM from Sleepy, and then I went to another call, and Seven was there, and it got brought up. Now Seven says I brought it up. I don't remember it that way. I don't want to claim that Seven is being malicious. I really don't, because I don't know her. But I basically said, look, no one cares, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care. It sounds to me like it's just Tom lied about me. I'm like, well, kind of get in line, if I'm honest. Tom lied about everyone. And because of that situation, she runs to Aiko. Aiko does a stream on me. And kind of this is where I'm at this current place. I'm going to be honest. I just really don't care. I just don't fucking care. It's in those DMs that she dropped, I did actually apologize for the way I was talking shit. It's literally there. But there was a
Don't apologize, by the way. Stand your fucking ground.
It was, well, I mean, I shouldn't have. I was pissed off, and I shouldn't have said what I said in the way that I said it. But I talk shit publicly about
fuck her, bro. Fuck her. Aiko's a fucking bitch. Yeah, fuck that bitch, dude. She's nuts, bro. She's fucking nuts. All right, you don't fucking have to apologize to this woman. She's a psycho. All right, like it's like
yeah. No, I think that's. Well, yeah, I mean, I think if anything, it sort of validates my fucking points. What's happened, really?
Bro. We all platformed. Everybody in the commentary community platformed Aiko, and she did all these streams on Edwin, and then all of a sudden started making up these fucking theories that we were all in bed together trying to help Edwin now, and it's fucking nuts, dude. And she's doing the same shit here. She invokes all this malicious introspectives of how. Of like what you're trying to do, like you're insidious because you're trying to like take away Seven's story when it's all it is Seven was lied about. Yeah, cool. Bet. Seven seems like a good person, I guess. Don't know him that well, but yeah, they got lied about. That doesn't mean they have to have their story needs to be spotlighted right next to fucking praying mantis or fucking sassafras, you know? Like it's like I don't know, man. Like that's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean it's just I think also one of the context for this is during Zonya's stream, I was sat, and one of the reasons I actually ended up calling into Zonya's stream was because people were calling in with all the kinds of random shit. Oh yeah, Tom did this thing. Tom did this thing. Oh my god. And I'm like, fuck, guys. We're trying to get through this, and there's this thing that happens. I don't know. It probably happens in commentary as well. I think it's pretty normal, but it annoys me. It's like you have a story, and then everyone with their own little bit parts is going to come in and go, oh, and he did this thing to me, because it's their chance to get a little bit of kind of revenge, exposure, or just clout. Now, I think that within that, there are some people who feel like they've had, and it seems to me like Seven is this sort of person who feel like they've been wronged and have not had the chance to and talk about that.
Right.
But it's too much. You can't deal with all of that. It's just too fucking much.
Look, if you've been wronged, right? Fucking make a video. Make a video. Make your own content. Tell your side of the story. All right, that's
a twit longer.
Yeah, or do like the you know, like if you want to be a part of this, if you want your story spotlighted, put your narrative out there yourself. Don't stop trying to rely on Aiko or Chud Logic or you or Stardust or someone else to tell your story. You tell your story yourself. That way you can get everything you need out there, because you know what's going to happen, because this has happened before. You're going to try to go through somebody and they're going to misinterpret something, and then you're going to have to like fucking scramble to try and correct it, and then it's never going to get corrected, and everything's going to get twisted, and then everyone's going to have a different point of view of you than what you wanted, because people think differently because of misinterpretation they made. So
it's also the person, right? You're not just writing on your reputation, or writing on the person you go to.
Yeah, exactly. So like I see Seven. She seems like a nice lady. I don't know much about her. She's got like 3,000 followers. Fucking do your it's obvious you want to interact somehow with these communities. Like this is the best way. If you want to do this is the best way to do it. Fucking make your content, put your story out there, and fucking just move on. There you go.
Seems like the smart thing to do.
Right.
But back to Tom. Tom goes live with all this shit. The stream's a shit show, by the way. People are getting banned left and right, fucking obviously. I've got to mention this because I love it. Mud Crab, Mantis's ex-boyfriend, sends in a super chat about how Tom must have known what the pictures were. And as it begins playing, Tom instantly stops it. He instantly cuts it off. And I was watching this actually with Xylee, and I was like, oh, hell no. Absolutely fucking not. So I copied his text for that super chat and paid another £5 to have it play again. And it pops up, and it gets most of the way through before Tom silences it again. The mods are like, that's not real Beckett. That's not real Beckett. Like, everyone knows that I don't go by Beckett-of-Crabs. In YouTube chats, I go by Beckett.
Yeah.
My PFP is, I think, fairly well known. Anyway, I argue back and forth with mods. I get on my Beckett-of-Crabs account and be like, why did you fucking time me out? I free you. I have freed you from the hidden status in Tom's chat.
Yeah,
his mods fucking rebelled.
I was timed out for like 24 hours, I think. It was ridiculous. I didn't even do anything wrong. I forgot about that. Me and Nick were like trolling in the chat. We were trolling Tom in the chat or something. I can't remember what I don't even know what we were saying at that point.
Well, that's when oh fuck, we've forgotten Anavoir. We've forgotten Anavoir. Anavoir gets involved because that was the stream that you guys were trolling watching.
Oh yeah.
It's just as an anecdote, but Anavoir comes on and she's like, "Oh, you've said before that you like crazy girls. That's why you like me and Lav." I'm paraphrasing here. But why are you calling me when you're an ex-heroin using fucking felon? It's just brutal.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's
it's pretty bad. But after this, like Tom is fucked. He says he wants to talk. I go live. I rip into him for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And yeah, it all sort of goes quiet for a bit. This is kind of the point we're at. Tom went live last night and is just not talking about it. He's going over the Ethan Klein thing. I think he's hoping it blows over. But there was God.
He should have done that weeks ago, by the way.
Yeah, he really should. I mean, this is the thing. If he just, I said this on my stream. Everyone has stopping points. Like there are like little bumps where if you just stop there, you know, you've gone a little bit closer to the cliff edge, but you can walk back. But then there is the cliff edge, and once you are fucking over it, it is really fucking difficult to stop falling.
Yeah,
like you are fucked. And very few people stop that descent. And that's when you're a lolcow, basically, once you're over that cliff.
Right.
So yeah, he's kind of fucked. The people who are friends with him are upset. Mostly people are looking to meme on him now. And which is what we saw on the Food Shops panel, which is an entire stream of Mantis coming in and off, claiming people are spinning a weird fucking narrative. I think I'm gonna be honest. She sounded a bit drunk. She came up with some crazy conspiracy.
Oh yeah,
theory.
the Food Shop stream. I watched that last night.
Yeah.
What was her conspiracy theory?
Well, her conspiracy theory is that obviously I'm friendly with Queeman. Stardust does not like Queeman. Queeman does not like Stardust.
Yeah.
But Mantis's conspiracy theory was that Queeman and Stardust have repaired the bridge through me, and Stardust is now part of Spicy Chat. And is intentionally spreading Spicy Chat's narrative, or like Queeman's narrative, through this secret cabal. I'm sensing a theme.
And if you don't know what Spicy Chat is, I think Beckett explains it in the Food Shops episode. Basically, a shitposting Discord text channel and Chud Logic server where people are very mean to people like Stardust and Food Shops and other content creators, and basically a lot of trolls, right?
Yeah,
and
pretty
so
much.
It would not make sense for Stardust to team up with like Kuman, a guy who called her Hog Rider, right? That's his nickname for her.
It's like I'm going to be honest here. There is Operation Hog Rider. I don't know what it is, and I think for the basis of my continued friendship with Queeman, I kind of don't want to.
Yeah,
I'm fucking good. I'm just gonna remain blissfully ignorant. So yeah, it's one of those where Spicy does its own thing. It really, when we talk about Spicy Chat, we're talking about 10 people in a larger group chat, who are sort of like poking at people. But yeah, it's just a shitposting community, you know.
Right.
But yeah, so it's now we're sort of at the culmination where honestly, Tom's burnt all his bridges. I don't know how you repair that as a Nexus channel, because Nexus channels are interesting. Whereas if you're a solo streamer, you can kind of stream through, and go, I'm just going to make my content. But if your content is bringing people on and your bridges are on fire, that means you have much less access, which is how all this started. He was like, if people think I'm a sex pest, I will lose my networking access. Well, congrats, buddy. Like, but that's what's happened. People are going to be much less willing to come on. You can already see that people are actually starting to move their conversations to other places. Food Shop the other night is a good example of this. Queeman is actually just having more people on to have conversations and content. And that draw within Tom's audience is going to evaporate. The other sides are because there is now so much evidence of Tom being a pathological liar. People who were listening to him for his opinions, I have no idea how many people that was, but are going to have pause for thought or may have lost faith in it.
Right.
So I don't know. I just don't know how you fix that. So yeah, I think his channel is, people are going to watch him for a while to see if anything funny happens, but if nothing does.
Well, I saw he had about 80 people watching him at some point, 100 really during the Vosh stuff, and that's a big subject too.
Yeah,
like the Vosh and the tipster thing, like that should get him about good 200, 300 concurrent.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if he can get through it, but I wanted to say, I just wanted to rub something in his face because he tried to get Leia something, a few people onto his streams. I wanted to make this clear. Stardust back in December 28th of 2023 said, "Dear Matt Pitt, I'd like to negotiate an occasional trade with you. I can only handle so much." Twitch poll. To which I replied, "I'll give you one show with Leia, Ginger, Sen, Jessica, and D-Max for one interview with Lav." Guess what? Didn't have to do that. I got my interview with Lav. I took Lav away from TomFoolery. Fucking TomFoolery is trying to take Leia something and Jessica away from me, trying to take Ginger away from me. I took Lav away from him. At least
you know that you know that Ginger's from Twitch poll, right?
Yeah, but she's from Twitch poll, but her foundation is Spurred commentary. All right, she started in the trenches with us.
Did she actually?
Mine. Yeah. I think she was from either Edwin's community or one of those guys.
Oh, that would make sense.
And
interesting.
And then she started interacting.
So she's been reclaimed.
Yeah, she's been around. Yeah, no, she's been around our community since 2021. And she's called into our streams and interacted with us a lot. And yeah, she's doing her own thing on Twitch poll. I think she started doing that in 2022. But good for her. Gotten on Destiny streams a couple times to argue with Darius. So that's cool. Proud of her. That's what I want. I want them to go out on their own and do things. I don't want some fucking TomFoolery to take them away. I want Leia to do her own thing. I want Jessica to do her own thing. And I don't want them to be wrangled somewhere else. They're mine. Mine.
No, fair enough. You worked hard for them.
Dude, a lot of hours put into dealing with a lot of weird internet dramas behind the scenes because of these people. And it's made a dent in my mental health and a dent in my wallet because I am bad with money. Those who are also bad with money: fanfiction narrator Darcy Evans, channel has been deleted; Stefan Corbino, the Gaming Witch, K-Huck, Pigeon Salad, Ringtail, the Gadget Guy, Echo Tragedy, Brooke A, Everborn, Strictly Patrick, Fresh Brewski, Jacob Thomas, Reynold Hughes, and Mame. If you want to be bad with money, pay $14.99 a month. Get your name said after every episode and every live stream. Can't afford that? Become a Beaver Lover. $10.99 a month gets you access to early access to early access to podcast episodes, and also priority calls in the Discord server. $4.99 a month is the Stumpies. That gets you access to most of the Discord server, as well as membership live streams and membership episodes. And those are our membership tiers. Beckett, is there anything else TomFoolery that we're missing here? Like anything at all?
I don't think so. Other than one thing, last podcast I did, I actually said he might be a good person for people to go and watch. And I mean, in some respects, I was right. This has been fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, well, another episode of Beckett being wrong. But thank you for coming on, Beckett. Beckett has a YouTube channel called Cope and Seethe. where he streams with he also shares a channel with his friend, his partner,
Jenny Matrix.
Jenny Matrix. They made a couple good videos on Demon Mama that is really a must watch in my opinion. Also, do you stream on YouTube as well?
Yeah, I stream on Cope and Sooth. Fridays and Saturdays standard days.
Are you still streaming on Twitch?
I am not anymore. No, I'm all in on the channel.
Let's go. Let's fucking go. All right. Anything else Twitch poll wise you want to bring up before we end? Like anything you want to say?
If things are going the way that they appear to me, there won't be a Twitch poll left by the end of the year.
Well, I gotta say I've enjoyed this excursion into the Twitch poll community. It's been I've been very appreciative of your story time with food shops and now TomFoolery, and I got my little conversation with Lab that I'm happy about.
Yeah, so it's fun.
Yeah, but I think it's time to come back to commentary. You know, you got Tipster going off, you got fucking Vosh doing crazy stuff, and Nick's putting out videos, Willie's putting out videos. Also, someone died. So yeah, it's been really interesting couple days. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah, the internet's burning.
Yeah, the internet's on fire. Burning. It's always on fire. Thank you, Beckett, for coming on, man.
My pleasure, man.
Hopefully we can get you on again with the whole crew, and we can all interact. You've been on a couple live streams, been a lot of fun. And remember, Now Recording is always recording.